Hey guys, so I've been shared this video a couple of times now and I wanted to release this just to kind of clarify some points on it. Now, I don't normally comment on other people's content, but I did want to do a kind of a review of this video and give my thoughts, opinions, and also counter arguments to the points that are raised in this video. Now, it's made by somebody that states they have over a year's experience of playing on Korea, and in the video they tried to tell you why one Dagger is not viable in Tier 2 in Talandre and why you shouldn't make the build. Now I 100% agree you should not make their build. Reasons why I feel that way about the build, and for those of you that have seen me play, you'll also be able to see the distinct difference in how I play the class versus how this person plays the class. So I'm going to play some of the video now. I have edited it a little bit to cut out some of the more important things that are said. You can, as I said, watch the full video. But after this, I'm going to do a build comparison. I've managed to recreate their item build without resonance and without the skill runes, and compared that to a build that I'm currently working on for the Talandre patch as well. And I'll be able to show you some of the glaring differences and why you can't take people's information at face value, and you do need to do your own research and you do need to play the game and understand the game to be able to get the most out of it. So let's get into the video.
Uh, I just want to make a short video to tell you not make a one dagger build in endgame. So there are some reasons why. First of all, you must understand that in endgame, now after Talandre update, after new morph skills, after new artifact, you cannot deal a lot of damage. So before Talandre update, we can deal a lot of damage, that's why one dagger can play like a DPS class. So I really don't recommend you guys make this build in tier 2, because it feels really bad. You must understand that it's really hard to hit enemy. First of all, it's hard to hit enemy, because I have 1.5k, I'm sorry, 1.5k hit, and sometimes I miss my course, I miss explosion, I miss even sleep sometimes. 1.5 it's not enough for tier 2, and I have more than 500 heavy attack chance. I have this full boost around 65 or 64 critical damage, and when I press all 12 buttons for maximize my damage, I can deal only around 3.5 or 5k damage. Oh, for 1 year it's already. It's really close to 1 year. And I have a max gear. I have a lot of experience in small scale, in large scale PvP, and in PvE of course. And I promise you guys, you just don't make this build, okay?
Okay, so as I said, I wanted to do a build comparison. On the left is a build that I'm currently working on for the Talandre patch, and on the right is the build that's displayed in the video without any runes and without any resonance. Now, neither of these builds have runes or resonance, because I didn't want to take a guess at what this person's using for their runes and their resonance and give a little bit of a misrepresentation in that respect. But I'll touch on the difference between the builds, and you'll be able to see they're quite glaring immediately. But I'll give a little bit of a rationale behind each of these choices as well, and also point out some of the items that are being used in this build that I feel just don't support the overall play style of one Dagger, and why this person is likely struggling in endgame in Talandre at the moment. So we'll start with the weapon first of all. We know already that Tevin is the best weapon. There is nothing that comes close to this. However, they've chose to use Nocturne of the Deep. Now, Nocturne of the Deep changes Corrupting Magic Circle to a skill that covers 5 meters around you for 5 seconds, and this is increasing the damage by 25%. This seems on paper like it would be a good skill. However, it means that you have to position inside of people to benefit from the bonus damage. If you're not hitting them with the circle, you don't gain the 25% damage. But what you sacrifice for this is the ability to get up Magic Circle on a target, or use Rotten Swamp like I've shown in my videos with Tevin, or use Decay and Touch and spread that with Karmic. You're sacrificing a lot of your Curse Explosion damage because you have to be in melee for it to be effective. So the only way that you could get the most out of this is if you were to sleep people, be in the middle of them, and then Curse Explosion. This really isn't a viable wand, and it shouldn't be used in tier 2. If you're going to use a tier 2 wand because you don't have Tevant, the healing wand is better. It gives better damage scaling, and it's overall a better item to use than Nocturne of the Deep. As we can see already, it gives up a ton of base damage to Tevant. Tevant goes to plus 12 in tier 2, so it does match the plus 12 of Nocturne, and it gives you a huge amount of base damage, which is why this person's missing out on a ton of damage as well, but also when you factor in the stats difference. Now we can look down all of these pieces of gear, and there are some good pieces of gear, but it feels very much like it's been put together with a DPS set in mind. It's not been put together to play to the strength of one dagger, and this can be seen through the stat distribution. We're hitting 60 perception, and for some reason we're going high on dexterity. Now one dagger does not scale well with dexterity. The only reason to do this would be to pump evasions, but ultimately when you compare my build with this build, it just does not compare in terms of raw stats. So let's have a little look at this and you'll understand a little bit more. So we can start at the top here and we can look at the range difference. The build on the right gives up 3.35 meters of range over the Tevant build. It's just a huge reduction, and it's narrowing down and really playing into the fact that you need to be in melee and you're going to be struggling to get that positional play off. Now my build gives up a lot of critical chance, and I do mean a lot of critical chance, and the reason for this though is because we don't scale massively off crit. I've said it time and time again, we just do not benefit hugely from crit because our dots are snapshotted at the point of application. If that dot doesn't crit at the point of application, it's never going to crit. And Curse Explosion critting and hitting for the max damage is nowhere near as efficient as if it heavy attacks. So that brings us on to Magic Heavy Attack. My build on the left, again without resonance, without runes, the same as this build, has higher heavy attack chance. And this is predominantly because of the strength. We've gone for strength over dexterity because it's just a better stat for us. It improves our base damage as well as allowing us to get to that breakpoint for the extra health and then again for that heavy attack chance. The magic hit chance is negligible between the two. We give up 58 hit chance to this build. The trade-off is massively in our favour in this respect. And then we go down to the protection, or the damage reduction, our defensive stats. Now my build on the left gains a whole lot more than this build on the right. As you'll see, we gain 1066 melee evasion. We also gain 484 ranged evasion. This will take us up to 2092 once we dodge roll, and we completely forgo magic evasion. And the reason we completely forgo magic evasion is we put smokescreen back in the build, and this allows us to mitigate the damage from magic. Ultimately in tier 2, the one thing that's going to be shutting us down is going to be that melee like we're seeing at the moment, and melee becomes much easier to stack. So we're able to stack melee evasion to a point where it's definitely viable, and magic evasion becomes less useful because we're able to smokescreen the damage portion, and outside of the petrification from staff users, we don't need to worry about being shut down on our combos or our damage from any magic, so that's all fine. Max health, again, glaring difference. We're looking at 17,660 compared to 14,000. It's a huge amount of max health difference there. And even as far as things like movement speed, we're gaining a massive amount of movement speed. 2.5% is significant. It doesn't seem like it is, but trust me, it really is when you're out there in PvP. But then cooldown reduction. We're getting 39.3% compared to 19.2%. This is allowing us to get our damage off more consistently and more often, and it's also allowing us to get those setups more consistently and more often. We're also picking up resistances passively throughout the gear. Although none of these are stacked, it is always nice to have them, just on the off chance that someone has low chance values that these can offset, so things like stun resist and collision resistance. Overall though, they're very unlikely to be massively useful for us. We do hit 550 weaken chance. Again, this is going to be another reason why this person is struggling, because weaken chance is triggered after the hit. So providing you hit, you then have to get past their weaken resist. So having high weaken chance is good, and our sleep chance as well is up there at 550. Our base damage is 39 higher, so our dots are ticking for more, our curse explosions are hitting for more. Overall, as you can see from this, just from a build that I've put together, there is a huge improvement that can be made on this build in the right. Now, this video that I'm reviewing is from somebody that's saying they've spent a lot of money and spent a lot of time putting together the best possible build. I spent 20 minutes putting together this build on the left, and I've already been able to note huge increases on where we could benefit and play more to the strength of the build. Now, there's one last thing that I want to touch on that is not in here, but you'll see it is on this build over here, and that is the Sacred Vanquishers set. This build on the right does not use Sacred Vanquisher at all, which is a flat 20% damage to damage over time. Why you would forego this set, the 2-set bonus on this, and feel that you were building a DPS set is beyond me. Now, like I said at the start, I don't want to talk bad about people's content. I don't want to start slating people saying they're wrong, I'm right. But ultimately, I think what I've done in this video is prove to you that there is a much more viable build than the build being used in the video. Now, in Tier 2, we scale very well because a lot of this build on the left can be made in Tier 2, with the exception of some select pieces and the accessories. But anyway, I'll let you guys be the judge of this. What do you think? Do you think that one Dagger is going to scale into Tier 2 like we've been telling you? Or do you think, like this person's saying, it's going to drop off completely and it's going to be a non-viable class in endgame? Leave your comments in the bottom. I'll link the video in the description. Go and give it a check. Show some love for other content creators as well. And thanks for watching.